again playing with new dash cameras. In my last video on the Vantrue N4 Pro versus the Vantrue N4 Pro S, someone commented, these are both really cool, but have you tried a 4-channel dash cam? No, I honestly didn't know that 4-channel dash cams were a thing until I went on Vantrue's website and I saw they had one. Thank you, Vantrue. They sent one over for me, the N5S. Today we're taking a look at the N5S and a little slight comparison to my N4 Pro S, because this guy is a 3-channel dash cam that can do something that my new 4-channel dash cam can't do, but then of course my new 4-channel dash cam has 4 channels, 4 cameras, which this guy can't do. So let's talk about these two cameras. Not a direct comparison, really we're gonna focus on the N5S. And I'm gonna see if the compromises that I have to give up to go from this guy to the N5S are worth it, are worth the extra channel, because it's 4 channels and it's 4 Sony Starvis 2 sensors. That's impressive.
Okay, so let's talk about what is the N5S first, and then we will do a little bit of the comparison to the N4S Pro. The N5S, the 4 channels. Now we have 1 camera shooting out the front and 1 camera shooting into the cab in the front. So like the front seats, and then you can kind of see my kids' row a little bit. We have 1 camera shooting out the rear, and now that 4th channel is shooting into the cab or the rear cab of my Sprinter van, which is a very underprotected space with just 3 cameras.
All right, here is a look at this rear camera. Again, this is a 1080 camera. I'm previewing you on my screen right now, but a 1080 camera, you can see most of my cargo area, which is kind of what I want to protect with this whole setup, because that front camera, if I'm just looking at the front camera, look at the front camera, check out this shot. It's a good shot. If anyone was up here trying to break into the front part of my van, this shot would be great. But if somebody was to come from the side door, break into the side door, and then just do this, that front shot doesn't capture them at all. So they could get back here, they could get my stuff, and then they could go out the back or out the side, and I would never see them. I would just see the back of their head. So having this camera here like that, again, that's a good shot. To see everything that's in here, sorry, this is my half built out van. It's not finished yet. It's only halfway done. But anything that I put down here would be safe because I'm recording in the back of my van.
Okay, so 4 cameras is killer. What's the downside? Well, in order to do 4 cameras, I do lose a bit of resolution on the front and the rear camera. The inside front camera, still 1080, still Sony Starvis 2 sensors, the IMX662. Both those cameras still have the 4 infrared lights on them, so still works great at night. It's got the HDR on them. Those cameras look great. The front camera though, now instead of being 4K, like it is on the N4 Pro S, it drops down to 2.5K. And it still looks great. Like the 2.5K, it's still using their WDR or wide dynamic range technology, so it's got like an HDR-ish effect. Like it is a beautiful shot coming out of that front image. It's only 2.5K though. On this guy, I was getting 4K. So it just means that when I do zoom in on like license plates, this guy, I've got no problem seeing license plates close, but things that are a little further away, the more resolution is going to help me maintain the image, and like I can still see something when a license plate is much further away. So if it's like someone cut me off or someone like is right there in front of me, I've got no problem still seeing it on this. The other thing that drops is my rear camera. So my rear camera now drops down to 1440 on the N5S. So 2.5K at the front, 1440 at the back, 1080 on both of the interior cameras. It's a lot of resolution and processing power that we are putting into this camera. So like I get why going from a 3-channel to a 4-channel, I have to have a bit of compromise. And again, now, like with the N5S, my Sprinter van, that like rear cab, like that's where I put my valuable stuff. That's where I keep my camera gear. If there's gonna be anything valuable in my van, it's going to be in that rear section. And again, with this guy, with only having 3 channels, I didn't have a camera that was watching that. If someone came in through the side door, they could get stuff and get out, and that front inside camera might never have even caught them. And honestly, like when I'm looking at the side-by-side between the 4K and the 2.5K, it's a 158-degree field of view out front. Like it's still using the IMX675 Starvis 2 sensor in there. So even though it's a little bit lower resolution, the quality is still super high because of that Starvis 2 sensor. And same thing with the rear camera, even though I've dropped down to 1440p, it still has the Starvis 2 IMX675 in there. So resolution is not what gives you like a clear image and good detail, and you've seen plenty of 4K cameras out there that are total trash. 2.5K and 1440p, but with the proper sensor, and you're still getting a ton of detail. Now, one other thing that I had to switch is that on the N4 Pro S, I was able to have that outside my van camera. So the nice thing with that is that I'm not shooting through a tinted window. On this guy, once again, I have to mount it back inside my window like I did on the N4 Pro, not the S version, but just the N4 Pro was inside my van. So it's shooting through a tinted rear window. So yes, I'm losing like some exposure with that, especially at night. I dropped down quite a bit on this guy because at nighttime I'm shooting through a tinted window, which is, it's not ideal. But again, when I'm thinking about like what matters most to me, it's probably not a car accident. Like if a car hits me in the rear, I'm gonna catch it on this. Like it will be close enough that I will be able to see it if someone actually hits me. If someone's further off and like they do something, you're right, I might not be able to see them because of the lower resolution, but this gives me that inside camera. And again, like even at night, there's infrared in there. What I'm most concerned about with my van is break-ins. I really think about that a lot. Like I think of like what's happening in front of me, inside the front cab, inside the rear cab. Those 3 cameras are probably the most important. The rear camera, nice to have. In my mind though, not as necessary as those other 3. So for at least now, I am gonna make the switch. I'm gonna switch over to this camera, and I think that that's like the determining factor, is just if you are running something like a Sprinter van or a Transit or a ProMaster, whatever kind of like cab style van, or just any vehicle, I guess, where you wanna be able to look at your trunk, like you wanna be able to see into that trunk area, this guy allows me to do that. I still have all the parking modes on here. For me, I run the parking mode where it's collision detection.
All right, of note, just ran into Costco, and as I'm moving groceries into the back of the van, the collision detection turned on. So it's, you can dial in that sensitivity however you like it. I like it a little more sensitive. Basically, if anyone like hits my car at all, I want this thing to kick on. So no, I don't have like the motion activation. If you're near my van, it won't record you. But if you touch my van, it's gonna record you.
And we still got GPS built in, LTE potential if you get the LTE module, and up to a 1 terabyte card. So essentially that's the difference. That's why I'm switching to this camera, is just that it gives me that 4th camera inside my cab. Again, I think that if you have a Sprinter, ProMaster, Transit van, maybe if you're like doing Ubers, like if you're doing like rideshare kind of situations, maybe you want another camera shooting into that rear cab. I think that's who it makes sense to go for this camera over the N4 Pro S. And if you don't need that 4th channel, then the N4 Pro S is still the way to go. As always, I want to hear your thoughts down below. Does a 4-channel dash cam make sense to you? Does the trade-off of going from 2.5K to 4K, or from 4K to 2.5K, like does that trade-off make sense to get that extra channel? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And yeah, I'll continue my dash cam journey of figuring out which one's best for me. Right now though, N5S.
Made it look like I was walking away, but I obviously still had to come back and get my camera. You know.